I'll be with you guys in a minute. Alrighty, I'm here. Just getting ready, checking a few things. My four-pod assistant is not with me. She is in another part of the house while I'm going to do this paint pour. And, she's got to get used to the rest of the house too. So she is currently upstairs with the door shut. She's got full run of the second story, and it's her first time checking it out. But we wanted to introduce her to the whole house. She was mostly hanging around by me, and she slept on this canvas all night. She really likes the art room. She became attached to me right away, but she needs to know the rest of the house, so we have her upstairs. I just don't want to be too overwhelmed right away with having a new cat and doing a paint pour and all that. Things got to happen slowly. So what I'm going to do today is I've got this canvas. My sister-in-law wanted fall painting for a small area, and it's like a wall between two doors, so it's just a narrow piece of wall. And I thought a 12 by 12 canvas would go good there. And I primed it with just some old paint that I had thrown a bunch of colors in the cup. I think this is from the last paint pour. And so I primed both sides of the canvas with it. And I'm going to just set this out of my way for now. What I'm going to do is pour over the top of that with Deco Art satin enamels. This is an old jar of paint. I need to use this paint up. So I thought I would use this for the base pour. And it's a nice sky blue. This was white, but I had mixed it with other satin enamels. It's got some Floetrol in it. Let's see. I think this was the white one, and I'd mixed it. Yeah, pure white. So this was another mixture. And enamel paint reacts with acrylic paint differently. So we might see some type of like cloudy effect out of that. So I'm going to use these colors so far. And I think I'm going to throw a couple of blues in there too. I'm going to kind of swirl some ultramarine and the Persian blue with the satin enamels. So I'm just going to set the blues aside. Oh, that sounds good, eh? Set the blues aside if you have the blues. And I'm going to be mixing these 5 colors in little cups. Those are my other cups. Okay, here's these. I've got 5 little cups. And first I'm going to fill these full of Floetrol. I'm going to be heavy on the Floetrol. What's wrong with this cup? There. And the Floetrol is going to react in a certain way too. It's going to produce cells. I'm also going to put some hair serum. Get that ready. Coconut milk hair serum in these paints as well. And that's going to produce a different effect, other kind of cells. I have the chat set for subscribers for 1 week only to try and cut down on the spam bot, because I'm sure as the morning grows, my regular chatters might be visiting, and I want them to have a good experience in chat. I hear the blue jay singing this morning. Chirping. Sounds like they found some food out there. Today's a fall equinox, and what a better day to do, it's just perfect to do a fall painting on the fall equinox. Okay, so there is the Floetrol. I'm going to need a little bit of water. And I have some water in a little container here. All right. Let me get some stir sticks and I'll be right back. And some paper towel. There. I'm going to mix this paint a little bit thin. I plan on applying it a little bit different than I normally do. I always pick this dry part off before I squeeze the paint out, just so none of that falls in my cup of paint. Okay, so this one is done. Lay that one down different. The Floetrol is going to lighten these colors just a little bit. I wish I could speed this up for you, but I can't. I can if I did a video edit, which I probably will do a video edit and upload it to my other channel. possibly with some music. These got to be mixed very good. So it takes a little while. I will go through all these colors when I'm done mixing them, name them out for you. This is a bright, bright red. I'm hoping that mixing some of these yellows with the blue on the canvas, I hope they mix into a green. But you never know what we're going to get. And if I'm not happy with this, I'll just start all over. Get some orange in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of dry paint on this one. I always pick the dry paint off of there before I squeeze it in my cup. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Autumn is upon us here in the northern part of the states, and it looks like it's going to be a dark, cold winter. So that's okay because then I get a lot of artwork done. And that's kind of like what I like to do. But on nice days, I have other things, other chores and things that I need to do. So when it's bad outside, I'm happy because then I can come in and just play with the paints and make a mess. And I like to make a mess. All right. Stir this one a little bit more. These paints are quite thick right now, so what I'm going to have to do is put a little water in there. And I will do that after I mix it with the Floetrol. This is a little bit darker red, more like a fire red. It's got more purple in it. This is a warm red, and this is a cold red. All right. Now I'm going to add the water, just a little bit at a time. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to need a little bit more, because these colors have to be able to flow out through the bottom of a ring. I'm going to pour into a cup, or I'm going to cut the bottom out and pour these colors into like a cylinder, and they have to be able to work their way out from underneath. So I'm going to need more water. I want them just a little bit thinner consistency. The reason I pour them into a cap before I pour it in a cup, just in case I pour too much. So let's try that. I have coffee and my normal morning kombucha. That's going to help get me going this morning. I'm still working on editing the video for my homemade kombucha, and that is going up on my food channel. Yes, I also have a food channel. If you're interested in that, you can get a hold of me and I'll give you the channel name. I have just a small group over there, mostly just friends and family. Okay, that might be perfect. We'll try that consistency. Every color is going to thin differently. This one's just a little bit thicker. Let's just put a couple more drops of water in here. Not as much. There, let's try that. You know, it just depends on the pigments they use to make the paint for the viscosity of it. And I need them thinned down a little bit for the technique that I'm going to use today. I have a little bit less orange compared to the reds and the yellows because I figured they're going to produce some more orange too. Once they mix and mesh together. A little bit more water. This red is thick. Mixing your paint can be time consuming, and it's kind of like a science all in itself to get the right consistency. Some techniques take thinner paint, other techniques take a thicker, and I'm going for a little bit thinner consistency today. Still seems a little bit thick. Maybe not. Okay. All right. I'll be naming all these colors in just a little bit. But I got to do them all together because I want to do them at a certain time in this video because when I edit the video, then I have that part of the video all clumped together in the same area of the video. Okay. This paint, this yellow seems just a little bit thinner. I won't need as much water. Let's try that. just going to add another couple drops of water here. Very little. As I paint, this yellow is a little bit thinner. This is a deep yellow. Right. I'd like to actually get them even a little bit thinner, but I'm getting pretty full here. These two colors are almost to the rim of the cup. This one, I wonder how it'd be. Well, we'll give it a try. Now I'm going to mix the blues. And I'm going to use this is Persian blue, not Persian. Prussian blue. And I've got aquamarine. So let me get my Floetrol. Let's move these up a little bit. And my mic was muted. I wonder how long I was muted. Okay. I've got the backside taped off and we're nice and level. And I'm ready to pour. The only thing is, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to cut one of these cups and I'm going to pour my paint into this. So let me just cut one of these cups. Just cutting it. This is called a floating cup technique. All right. First of all, I'm going to pour the base coat. And I'm going to rub the paint on the sides. I'll probably put a glove on and just use my hand. I kind of want this thick. Okay. Here comes the glove. All right. So now I'm going to just smear this. Make sure I get the sides of the canvas real well. Just going to smear this paint along. Let the paint roll over the edge a little bit. We want the surface kind of even. I hope I have this edge pretty good. I can't see that edge. You can, though. I have to look up in my camera and see. Make sure I've got every bit of that edge. There are calculators online for paint pouring, so you know how much paint to use. And they say it's about 1 ounce of paint for every 6x6 area. And I think I've got a little bit more than that. I like to have a little bit more than not enough. So I'm just getting the paint all the way on edges here. And you can't see the edge that's closest to me. on this video. Sorry about that. All right. Just want to go over them. We're going to have a lot of paint that runs over the edge. So that's going to cover up any bare spots, but I just want to make sure there's a real good coating. Okay. I'll try and even out this surface. There we go. Tilt it a little bit. Just to see how this paint is going to run. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty thick. That's okay. All righty, now we're going to put this cup that I cut probably in the center. I'm going to run some paint around the edge, the outside edge. We're going to put a little bit more in the center. Okay. There's a reason for this. And now I'm going to start putting my colors in that cup. So first I'm going to go with some blues. I'm going to get some blues in there first. First went ultramarine, then the Prussian blue. And now I'm going to do the primary yellow. And the paint should start seeping out along the edge. Just kind of encourage it a little bit here. There she goes. Yeah, that's what we want. Now we're going to go with some red. I think this was the Carmine red. And some deep yellow. Some orange. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. And then we're going to go with some I forgot the name of this color. Let me go look. That is Nectar Red. Oh, look at the cells. Wow. Just wow. Now I see that it's kind of, as it spreads out, it looks like it kind of wants to roll on top of each other. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit more of this light blue that I have, a little bit left, and try and just let it slide more towards the edge. And this is why I leveled it before we started, so that it wouldn't run just to one side of the canvas. But we are going to stretch those cells out a little bit. the cup is kind of floating around. It kind of floated towards me. So we'll see if we can get that to float back. All right, let's put some more blue in here. It's really pretty. I'm going to have to bring up this side so it floats back the other way. How I'm going to get that under there. Let me see. Maybe I can use this cap and a stick. Perfect. Just kind of encourage it back the other way. All right, let's put some Persian blue in there. The yellow seems to be sinking. I don't think I'm going to get too much yellow in here. But maybe when I torch it, that'll bring it up from the bottom. All right, let's get some more red. Some orange. Some Nectar Red. Some deep yellow. I'm going to have to get another stick underneath here. Yeah, we want you to floaty the other way. Okay. Let's get some more blue. Aquamarine is what I'm using. Okay. Oh, I really like these cells. And we're going to put some more Persian blue. We're going to go in there with some Carmine Red. It's a deeper red. And then we're going to end up with yellow. And I have to tilt this the other way now. Let's lift up this cup a little bit and encourage some of that paint to come out. I'm not sure if this is going to work for the fall picture I wanted to do for my sister-in-law, but I like it. Now what I'm going to do is kind of swirl the paint that's left in this cup so it's just not one big spot of yellow. We're just going to keep swirling. I don't want to make it look like mud, but I'm going to pick this up now, kind of very slowly. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to tilt. And I want this to go very slow. Because I don't want to distort the cells too much. I think they look kind of neat. I kind of like that spot in the middle. So each time I tilt it towards a corner, I bring it back to the center and then go to the other corner. And what I'm trying to do is keep that spot in the center nice and round. Well, I know it won't stay round, but try. I see a very light blue veining in between the cells, and I like that. It's bunching up here, so I'm going to encourage the paint flow. I'm not going to leave much negative space, although I could, Let's just see. Now we're going to bring that spot back to the center. Sorry about that spot of light I have going on in there. Okay. Now we're going to go down to this corner. Now we're going to go back to the center. And I'm going to go down to this corner a little bit. And I guess maybe I will leave some negative space in there. And now I'm going to bring the paint back to the center and sit and meditate for a minute. I'm just going to fix this spot. All right. I'm going to see if we can squeeze any blue out of this jar, if there's any left here. And And I'm just going to try and get a spiral. Just to cover up some of that yellow. All right. Now we're going to torch the bubbles out. My handy torch. There. That paint's still pretty thick here in the middle. Looks like that enamel paint don't like to be torched. It looks like flakes. All right, let's try and just smooth this out here a little bit. All right. I think I'm going to leave the negative space on each corner. I kind of like that. But there sure is a lot of paint on here. Like it's really thick in the center. And as it dries, that could move. That could even move towards a side or what. I have it pretty level right now, but let me see if I can bring up some more cells. That's different. Let's see what I can do here. Oh, that's neat. What will this one do? There's a little bit of red there. I don't want to burn the paint. You can't leave this torch, this flame on the paint real long. Let's see what else I can do here. Okay, so it's giving it a lacy effect. It's kind of neat. Okay. I think I'm just going to leave it now. As it dries, more cells will come up. But I don't want to overdo it with the cells. I really like the effect. So I'm going to leave it part of this is knowing when to walk away, you know, because you can overdo it too. Well, it's not quite the fall scene that I wanted to produce. And I don't think I'm going to quite use this background for what I wanted to do. But I think I'm going to keep this one and start out all over again for that painting for my sister-in-law. I know you can't see it on this webcam I'm using, but the way these colors kind of blended together is actually really cool. I like that. And I'm glad I used the blue on top to kind of tone down the yellow. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it. As soon as it's done dripping, it's still kind of running over the sides, and a lot of paint will run off. It's probably going to look totally different when it's dry. But I need to move this painting and put a cover on it so it's safe and my cat is safe. Yeah, we're putting a cover over our paintings now to let them dry. That way we keep everyone happy. The cat stays out of the paint. My paintings don't get paw prints in them. So we'll see what this looks like when it's dry. And I don't want to tilt it anymore or anything. I'm just going to leave it and see what we get. I'll be back later on. Thanks for joining me.